The world's population is growing and living standards are rising. As a result, there is an increasing demand for raw materials and a massive boom in mining activities worldwide. The mining sector, including large-scale industrial mines and small-scale artisanal miners, has to deal with a number of serious risks and challenges to sustainability.
Palawan is considered the country's last bastion of ecological biodiversity. We possess almost half of the old-growth forest in our country. We have 30% of the remaining mangroves. We have 40% of the coral reefs, and there's a high rate of endemism. And all of this combined actually nourishes life. Biodiversity enables us to survive. It makes sure that we have water to irrigate our farmlands. We have food to feed our families. We have non-timber forest products that actually provide livelihood to our local communities. The mining method here is open pit mining. And when you talk about open pit mining, you remove first the forest. So it's deforestation, and then you remove the topsoil to be able to get the ore. It's disheartening to note that despite a lot of laws and policies, extractive activities like mining has continued to threaten this beautiful province. And why is that? Because you have weak governance, corruption, poverty, and ignorance all combined, a perfect recipe for an environmental disaster.
In many countries where mining takes place, national laws and international standards are poorly respected and monitored. For example, the government of the Democratic Republic of the Congo granted the London-based oil company SOCO a huge oil concession right in the middle of the Virunga National Park, one of the most biologically diverse protected areas on the planet and a classified World Heritage Site.
La loi de notre pays par rapport à la conservation de la nature n'autorise pas l'exploitation, les activités extractives dans une aire protégée comme le Virunga. Donc il est mal indiqué qu'il y ait des activités de ce genre dans cette aire protégée.
Maisha yangu ni peshe. Maisha yangu mimi naiganyaka hivi sasa, unaona sawa leo gisi sibitaki kabisa vile vya soko. Wakatuambia sasa sasa watakiwa tusha pale petroli. Tutaenda wapi?
Nous fournissons des efforts pour travailler plus avec les communautés afin qu'elles comprennent leurs droits.
L'entreprise Soko est en train de dire qu'elle va embaucher la population locale, mais elle utilise les gens d'ailleurs.
The world depends on raw materials, and the demand is still on the rise. Indonesia is a proud supplier of tin, a resource that is becoming increasingly important in modern life. Unfortunately, there is less reason to be proud of the way this tin is being mined. The beautiful Bangka and Belitung Islands are currently being transformed from a prime tourist destination into a wasteland. Fertile land is turning into a landscape of thousands of craters that become sources of malaria. Fish stocks and coral reefs are being destroyed by dredgers and tin suction ships. Fishermen report that their catches have fallen by 80%. Children are especially vulnerable to exploitation by the tin industry. The school dropout rate is high amongst poor families, and children often go to work in tin mining. Accidents happen on a weekly basis, with miners dying regularly in landslides. Environmental organisations have successfully demanded that major electronics brands like Apple, Samsung, Philips and Sony support a less destructive form of tin mining. A company that wants to adhere to the principle of corporate social responsibility should eliminate the use of raw materials from questionable sources in their supply chain. Tools to predict and prevent negative social and environmental impacts are available for large-scale commercial mining operations. Mining operations involving a large number of small-scale activities are more difficult to monitor. Cyanide and mercury are used in processes that extract gold from ore. The use of mercury by artisanal miners is much more common than the employment of cyanide. Both of these chemicals are often released into waterways. Gold mining activities in Peru and Colombia, in which mercury is used, have already resulted in high concentrations of mercury in fish and the food chain. This is a danger for the local communities, but also to the people who use this chemical. They often don't understand its properties and risks. In order to reverse the negative impacts on people and the planet, IUCN Netherlands and Friends of the Earth Netherlands are actively engaging with the extractive industries and the electronics sector to reduce their ecological footprint and overcome the raw side of risk.